Did you know that after age 60, your deep sleep drops by nearly 40% compared to when you were in your 20s? That's not just getting older. That's your body losing its most powerful repair mechanism. And here's what's truly alarming. Poor sleep after 60 doesn't just make you tired. It accelerates cognitive decline, weakens your immune system, and increases your risk of falls by up to 300%. But here's what the sleep industry won't tell you. Most sleep advice for seniors is dead wrong. Those 8 hours everyone talks about, that might actually be harming you. The supplements they push, some can make your sleep worse, not better. And those fancy sleep trackers, they're measuring the wrong things entirely. What I'm about to share with you are 7 sleep fixes that work specifically for bodies over 60. These aren't the usual tips you've heard 1,000 times. Number 7 is going to surprise you because it involves doing the exact opposite of what most doctors recommend. But number 1, this one discovery could add years to your life while making every single day feel more energetic and clear. Before we dive in, I'm curious. Drop a comment and let me know where you're watching from and how many hours of sleep you're actually getting each night. Be honest, are you one of those people who lies awake for hours? Or do you fall asleep but wake up feeling like you never rested at all? Let's start with sleep fix number 7. And this one's going to challenge everything you think you know about bedtime routines. Sleep fix number 7. Stop trying to sleep 8 hours. If you're over 60 and forcing yourself to stay in bed for 8 hours, you might be training your brain to associate your bed with frustration and wakefulness. Here's why this matters. As we age, our sleep architecture changes fundamentally. Your body naturally produces less melatonin, your circadian rhythm shifts earlier, and your sleep becomes lighter and more fragmented. Fighting against these changes creates a vicious cycle. Research from sleep centers across the country shows that seniors who focus on sleep quality rather than quantity report higher satisfaction and better daytime functioning. Some people over 60 thrive on 6.5 hours of solid sleep rather than 8 hours of tossing and turning. Meet Robert, 67, a retired electrician who loved working with his hands in his garage workshop. For 2 years after retirement, he'd lie in bed from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m., getting maybe 5 hours of actual sleep scattered throughout the night. He felt exhausted, irritable, and started avoiding his woodworking projects. We shifted his approach. Instead of 8 hours in bed, he aimed for 7 hours with a focus on falling asleep quickly and staying asleep. Within 3 weeks, Robert was getting 6 solid hours of sleep and waking up naturally at 5:30 a.m., ready to tackle his projects with energy he hadn't felt in years. Here's your protocol. Track your actual sleep time for 1 week, not your time in bed. If you're getting 6 hours of solid sleep, that might be perfect for you. Gradually reduce your time in bed by 15 minutes every few days until you're falling asleep within 15 minutes and waking up naturally. Quality trumps quantity every single time. But here's where most people make their biggest mistake. And it happens hours before bedtime. Sleep fix number 6. Your afternoon matters more than your bedtime routine. Most people obsess over what they do in the hour before bed. But the real game changer is what happens between 2 p.m. and 6 p.m. Your sleep pressure, the biological drive that makes you feel sleepy, builds throughout the day. But if you nap after 2 p.m. or spend your afternoon completely sedentary, you're sabotaging tonight's sleep before you even think about bedtime. Here's the mechanism in simple terms. Your brain produces a chemical called adenosine all day long. Think of it like sleepiness currency. The more you accumulate, the sleepier you feel. But late afternoon naps or total inactivity can disrupt this natural accumulation, leaving you wide awake when you want to sleep. Multiple studies from major medical centers have found that seniors who engage in light physical activity between 2 p.m. and 5 p.m. fall asleep faster and experience deeper sleep phases compared to those who remain sedentary during these crucial hours. Take Martha, 63, a former teacher who was having terrible insomnia after losing her husband 6 months earlier. She'd spend afternoons sitting in her recliner, sometimes dozing off around 3 p.m., then lying awake until 2 a.m. feeling frustrated and alone. We created a simple afternoon routine, a 20-minute walk around her neighborhood at 3 p.m., followed by 30 minutes of light housework or gardening. No afternoon naps, no matter how tired she felt. Within 2 weeks, Martha was falling asleep by 10:30 p.m. and sleeping through until 6 a.m. She told me it felt like getting her life back. Your afternoon protocol, this. Set a reminder for 2 p.m. every day. Do something that involves gentle movement for at least 20 minutes. This could be walking, light cleaning, gardening, or even organizing a closet. If you feel sleepy, resist the nap and go for a brief walk instead. Save that sleepiness for tonight when you actually want it. Now let's talk about something that happens in your bedroom that's probably destroying your sleep quality without you realizing it. Sleep fix number 5. Your bedroom temperature is probably wrong, and it's costing you deep sleep. Most people over 60 keep their bedrooms too warm because they feel cold more easily during the day. But when it comes to sleep, being slightly cool is crucial for entering the deep sleep phases where your brain clears out toxins and your body repairs itself. Your core body temperature naturally drops as you prepare for sleep. This temperature drop signals your brain to release melatonin and begin the sleep process. When your bedroom is too warm, you fight against this natural cooling, staying in lighter sleep phases all night long. Sleep researchers have found that the optimal bedroom temperature for adults over 60 is between 65 and 68 degrees Fahrenheit. Even a few degrees warmer can reduce your time in deep sleep by up to 25%. Here's Frank, 71, a retired postal worker who prided himself on walking his route for 30 years in all kinds of weather. After retirement, he was waking up every 2 hours, often sweating and feeling restless. His bedroom thermostat was set to 74 degrees because he and his wife felt chilly watching TV in the evening. We made one simple change: bedroom temperature down to 67 degrees at night, with an extra blanket for warmth. Frank started sleeping in 5 to 6 hour stretches instead of 2 hour fragments. He woke up feeling refreshed instead of groggy. Your temperature protocol works like this. 2 hours before bedtime, start cooling your bedroom down to 67 degrees. If you're worried about feeling cold, add layers of blankets that you can adjust during the night. Your feet might feel cold initially, but your core temperature drop will help you fall asleep faster and stay in deeper sleep phases longer. But temperature is the only thing in your bedroom that's working against you. There's something you probably do every single night that's telling your brain to stay alert. Sleep fix number 4. Blue light after sunset is aging your brain faster. Every device in your home with a screen is emitting blue light that mimics daylight to your brain. Your phone, tablet, TV, even your digital alarm clock. After age 60, your eyes become more sensitive to blue light, and exposure to it at sunset can suppress melatonin production for up to 3 hours. Here's what's happening inside your brain. Blue light hits special cells in your retina that send a signal to your brain's master clock, telling it that it's daytime. This shuts down melatonin production and keeps your brain in alert mode when you need it to wind down for sleep. Studies from major universities have shown that seniors who eliminate blue light exposure 2 hours before bedtime increase their deep sleep time by an -1 of 23 minutes per night. That might not sound like much, but over a week, that's nearly 3 extra hours of the most restorative sleep your brain can get. Consider Elena, 65, a retired librarian who loved reading on her tablet in bed every night. She'd read for an hour, then lie awake for another hour or two with her mind racing. We switched her evening reading to a physical book with a warm reading light and moved her tablet charging station to the living room so she wouldn't be tempted. Within 10 days, Elena was falling asleep within minutes of putting her book down, and she started dreaming regularly again for the first time in years. Here's your blue light protocol. 2 hours before bedtime, switch all screens to night mode. If you must use them, or better yet, put them in another room. Use warm, Dim lighting for any evening activities. If you read before bed, use a book and a warm-tone reading light. Consider blue light blocking glasses if you absolutely must use devices in the evening, but eliminating the light source entirely works better. Now, speaking of light, there's another lighting mistake you're probably making that's throwing off your entire sleep cycle. Sleep fix number 3. Your morning light exposure is backwards. Most people over 60 spend their mornings indoors with artificial light, then get their brightest light exposure in the afternoon or evening. This confuses your circadian rhythm and makes it harder to feel naturally tired at bedtime. Your brain's internal clock relies on light cues to know when to be alert and when to prepare for sleep. The mechanism is straightforward but powerful. Morning light exposure, especially within the first hour of waking, sets your circadian rhythm for the entire day. It tells your brain to stop producing melatonin, start producing cortisol for alertness, and begin the 14 to 16-hour countdown until your next natural sleep window. Research from circadian rhythm specialists shows that seniors who get at least 15 minutes of bright natural light within 30 minutes of waking fall asleep an average of 37 minutes faster that night compared to those who rely on indoor lighting. Meet David, 69, a retired accountant who was waking up at 5 a.m. but feeling groggy until noon, then having trouble falling asleep until midnight. His routine involved making coffee and reading the news on his phone in his dim kitchen. We changed one thing. Every morning, David would take his coffee outside his patio or, on rainy days, sit by his largest window with the curtains wide open. This simple change reset his internal clock. Within a month, David was naturally tired by 9:30 p.m. and waking up alert at 5 a.m. Your morning light protocol is simple but non-negotiable. Within 30 minutes of waking up, get outside for at least 15 minutes or sit by your brightest window. Don't wear sunglasses during this time unless medically necessary. If it's cloudy, stay out a bit longer. If you wake up before sunrise, use a bright light therapy lamp for 15 to 20 minutes while having your morning coffee or breakfast. But even with perfect light exposure, there's something you might be eating that's sabotaging your sleep from the inside. Sleep fix number 2. The supplement that's supposed to help you sleep might be keeping you awake, and you won't believe how common this is. Magnesium supplements have become incredibly popular for sleep, and in the right form and dose, they can be helpful. But here's the problem. Most people over 60 are taking the wrong type of magnesium, at the wrong time, in the wrong dose. Magnesium oxide, the cheapest and most common form found in drugstores, is poorly absorbed and can actually cause digestive upset that disrupts sleep. Taking any magnesium supplement too late in the evening can cause a rebound effect where you feel more alert a few hours later. Your body needs magnesium for over 300 enzymatic reactions, including those that regulate your sleep-wake cycle. But the timing and type matter more than most people realize. The most absorbable forms for sleep are magnesium glycinate or magnesium threonate, taken about 3 hours before bedtime to allow for proper absorption. Clinical studies have found that seniors who take 200 to 400 milligrams of magnesium glycinate 3 hours before bedtime, rather than right before bed, experience more consistent sleep improvements without the middle-of-the-night alertness that can come from poor timing. Here's Joyce, 62, a retired nurse who knew about supplements but was taking 500 milligrams of magnesium oxide right before brushing her teeth. She'd fall asleep quickly but wake up around 2 a.m. feeling wide awake and slightly nauseous. We switched her to 300 milligrams of magnesium glycinate taken with dinner at 6 p.m. Joyce started sleeping through the night consistently and waking up without the groggy feeling she'd been experiencing. Your magnesium protocol, if you choose to use it, should follow these guidelines. Choose magnesium glycinate or magnesium threonate over magnesium oxide. Take it with food to improve absorption and reduce digestive upset. Time it for about 3 hours before bedtime, not right before sleep. Start with 200 milligrams and increase gradually if needed. And most importantly, discuss any supplement changes with your doctor, especially if you take medications for blood pressure or heart conditions. But here's the kicker. Even if you get everything else right, there's one sleep destroyer that's so common among seniors that it might be the reason you're listening to this right now. Sleep fix number 1. And this is the game changer that could transform not just your sleep, but your entire quality of life. Worrying time is stealing your sleep, and you can reclaim it with a 5-minute evening ritual that rewires how your brain processes stress after dark. Here's what's really happening when you lie in bed with your mind racing. During the day, you're busy enough that worries stay in the background, but the moment your head hits the pillow, your brain interprets the quiet and stillness as the perfect time to problem solve, plan, and worrying about everything from family health to finances to that weird noise your car is making. This isn't a character flaw or a sign of aging. It's your brain trying to protect you by staying alert to potential threats. But after 60, when life has given you more things to legitimately worry about, this protective mechanism can become a sleep thief. The solution isn't to stop worrying. It's to give your worries a designated time and place that isn't your bed. Neuroscience research has shown that people who spend just 5 minutes writing down their worries and concerns before bedtime reduce their sleep onset time by an average of 15 minutes and report significantly less middle-of-the-night rumination. Consider Patricia, 68, a widow whose mind would race every night with concerns about her adult children, her health, her finances, and whether she'd remembered to lock all the doors. She'd lie in bed making mental lists and replaying conversations, sometimes for hours. We instituted a simple worrying time ritual. Every evening at 8 p.m., Patricia would sit at her kitchen table with a notebook and spend exactly 5 minutes writing down everything on her mind. No solutions, no judgments, just getting it out of her head and onto paper. Then she'd close the notebook and tell herself, "That's handled for tonight." Within 2 weeks, Patricia was falling asleep within 20 minutes instead of lying awake for hours. She told me it felt like her bed became a place for rest instead of a place for stress. Your worrying time protocol is deceptively simple but remarkably effective. Choose a consistent time about 2 hours before bedtime. Set a timer for 5 minutes. Write down everything that's on your mind, no matter how big or small. Don't try to solve anything during this time. Just acknowledge and record. When the timer goes off, close your notebook or put away your paper. Tell yourself out loud, "These concerns are handled for tonight. Tomorrow I can think about them again if I need to." If worries pop up in bed, remind yourself, "I already handled this during worrying time." Let me share something with you. Try this little test right now. Close your eyes and see if you can remember the last time you woke up feeling truly rested and energetic. Can you picture it? If that memory feels distant or fuzzy, you're not alone. Most people over 60 have forgotten what good sleep actually feels like because they've been fighting against their changing sleep needs instead of working with them. Here's the truth about sleep after 60 that nobody talks about. Your sleep isn't broken. It's different. And different doesn't mean worse if you know how to work with the changes instead of against them. Every single one of these 7 fixes acknowledges that your 60-plus brain and body have different needs than they did 20 or 30 years ago. Shorter sleep windows can be more refreshing than long, fragmented nights. Afternoon activity sets you up for evening rest. Cool temperatures help your body's natural cooling process. Light exposure at the right times keeps your internal clock running smoothly. The right supplements at the right times support your sleep chemistry. And giving your worries a designated time and place frees your bed to be a sanctuary for rest. You don't have to implement all 7 fixes at once. In fact, that might backfire, because you'd be adding stress instead of reducing it. Pick one that resonates most with your current sleep struggles. Maybe it's the afternoon activity if you find yourself napping and then can't sleep at night. Maybe it's the worrying time if your mind races when your head hits the pillow. Maybe it's simply adjusting your bedroom temperature if you're waking up multiple times feeling restless. Give that one change a full weeks to take effect. Your sleep patterns didn't develop overnight, and they won't change overnight either. But when you start sleeping better, everything else in your life gets easier. Your energy improves, your mood stabilizes, your thinking becomes clearer, your immune system gets stronger. Even your balance and coordination improve because your brain has had the chance to repair and restore itself during deep sleep. Phases. The goal into sleep like you did when you were 30. The goal is to sleep in a way that supports the vibrant, energetic, mentally sharp person you want to be at 60, 70, 80, and beyond. Sleep isn't just about feeling rested, it's about giving your brain the time it needs to clear out toxins, consolidate memories, and prepare for another day of living fully. One more thing to keep in mind: if you've tried multiple approaches and still struggle with sleep, or if you snore heavily, stop breathing during sleep, or experience other symptoms that might indicate sleep apnea, please discuss this with your doctor. Sometimes the best sleep hygiene in the world can't overcome an underlying medical condition that needs professional attention. Your sleep matters more now than ever before. You've earned the right to wake up feeling rested and ready for whatever the day brings. These 7 fixes aren't just about sleeping better tonight. They're about reclaiming your energy, your clarity, and your enjoyment of life during the years when you finally have the freedom and wisdom to make the most of every single day. So here's my question for you, and I'd love to see your answer in the comments. Which of these 7 sleep fixes surprised you the most, and which one are you going to try first? Maybe you had no idea that your afternoon routine was connected to your nighttime sleep. Maybe the idea of giving your worries a specific time and place feels like exactly what you need. Or maybe you're ready to experiment with your bedroom temperature tonight and see what happens. Whatever it is, drop a comment and let me know. Your experience might be exactly what someone else needs to hear to take that first step toward better sleep and better days.